Good morning, class. It's me, teacher John Ryan Sapotalo, your Science 1 teacher. Today, we're going to learn about the benefits of growing using various materials and waste materials. All right, are you ready? Okay, but before that, let's read the vocabulary. Number 1, waste. Waste. Number 2, scrap. Scraps. Number 3, benefit. Benefit. Number 4, farmer. Farmer. Number 5, composting. Composting. All right. Now, what are the benefits of using waste materials and growing plants? Okay, using waste materials in planting and gardening is a big help, especially to those farmers who spend their life in farming. Because using waste materials or recycling materials, they can use the waste or scrap materials to save money. All right, look at the picture. Using recycle, yes, it can help you to save money. Just like this. You can save money instead of buying the materials that is used for planting. All right. You don't need to spend money of buying the materials. Yes, because you can save if you use the scrap materials or the waste materials that we don't need it. That is why various materials are a big help for your garden. Look at this. Yeah, that's right. If you don't have enough space at your home, you can use the scrap to plant. All right? Because you can use them if you don't have enough space in your home. Look at this. Yes. And this one too. And to make sure that your garden is healthy, you need to apply the 5 essential ways. All right. Using waste for the plant. What can plant waste be used for? Green waste can be used as composting material, which is good soil fertilizer. This can be collected by a contractor who sends the waste to the centralized composting plant where it is processed for use. Look at this example. You can use the battery. Yes. And also, yeah, the skin of the vegetables or any waste that you have at home. Now,
Composting is as easy or complicated as you want it to be. In this video, I'll show you the easy and quick way to get a great compost that anyone can do. You need two different kinds of materials to make compost, green and brown materials. Green materials are high in nitrogen and usually wet, which means any food scraps like fruits, vegetables, grass clippings, and even coffee grounds and tea bags. I cut the food scraps and papers into smaller pieces to speed up the process of decomposing. Brown materials are high in carbon and dry, which means anything that's brown like wood chips, cardboard papers, toilet rolls, paper towels, dry leaves, etc. But there are some things like avocado skin or big seeds that take much longer to decompose, so I usually take those out of my compost mix. Eggshells also take a long time to decompose, so make sure you crush them into small pieces. Corn also takes a long time, so sometimes I leave those out and sometimes I cut them into small pieces to speed up the composting process. The smaller the materials, the better, which also includes brown materials. Dry leaves breaks apart easily, and small wood chips will decompose in no time. But large wood chips take a long time, so I usually don't include those in my compost pile. And yes, you can include paper towels as well. Oh, by the way, don't forget to take out those stickers that are on your fruits. I used to think that they're paper so they'll decompose, but no, they're more plastic than paper, so they won't decompose for many, many years. Alright, now that you know what materials you need, I'll show you exactly what I do. Before I started composting, I used to hate this tree because of all the leaves and debris it created in my backyard. But now I give thanks for providing the brown materials that I need to mix with my food scraps to make an amazing compost. I also use bad soil that has been beaten up by the sun with no nutritional value to mix it into making a compost, and also to create a thick layer on top to prevent all the gnats from getting into the decaying food scraps inside. I had filled this big pot with food scraps, backyard debris, and sandy soil a few days ago, and since I have more space, I'm just gonna add more to it. I'm just taking off the bad soil I laid on top until I see the tops of the food scraps. Then I'll add additional material. Once in a while, I add some water that I use to rinse some fruits, and that will help with the decomposing process. If you don't have a big pot, then just use a small pot and do the same layering process. I have a bunch of big and small pots, so I use them all to make compost. And if you don't have any pot, then just dig a hole, Put the food scraps in and cover them up. This is how it looks after about a few weeks. I initially packed it to the top and now it's about half the size. That's when I know it's about halfway done. And this is when you want to toss it around to bring more air to the compost. So air is the fourth ingredient that you need besides water, green and brown materials. Sometimes I remove the top dry layer before I mix the ingredients around. I'm putting 3 pots of compost into 2 to free up 1 pot to mix another fresh set of compost materials. Do you see the worms? They are everywhere. I also add some already composting material full of worms into the new pile of compost, which also speeds up the process. Then I add some brown materials and dry soil on top and let them sit for another few weeks. After about a month or 2, this is what you get. It's like magic. You can't see any food scraps or leaves, just loose black soil with a bunch of worms, and this is turning waste into gold. This soil will nourish my fruit trees and vegetables. Great compost can provide an abundance of delicious food like my garden. I'm still learning how to garden, so this is much better than what I expected this summer. Honestly, about 80% of this entire area was covered in weeds not too long ago, so comparatively, I'm doing pretty well. These are Korean zucchinis. They're softer than the store-bought zucchinis, and honestly, after you have these zucchinis, you just can't eat the ones from the grocery store anymore. These are Fuji apples and they are so sweet. My kids love them. Last year, I had like 3 cucumbers that were so bitter. This year, after putting in a lot of compost, they are so productive and delicious. These are called perilla leaves, or 깻잎 in Korean, which has great flavor. This also thrived after putting a lot of compost this year. I love green onions and chives because they keep growing and providing. The more you cut, the more they grow. I just love it. I put the ends of the zucchini that I got from my backyard back to composting. It's a full circle. Great compost to your vegetables and fruits creates delicious and nutritious foods that are great for your health.
너무 맛있다. delicious. 나 이거 이렇게 무쳐 먹으니까 너무 맛있다. Thank you, mommy. 너무 맛있어.
All right. What is a waste for plant? Oxygen can be looked upon as a waste product of photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide a waste product of respiration. Water is a waste product of both. Okay, what is a waste product during photosynthesis? Photosynthesis uses solar energy, carbon dioxide, and water to produce energy storing carbohydrate. Alright? And oxygen is generated as a waste product of photosynthesis. Now, materials used for gardening. This one is a review. And look at the picture. Okay, so this is familiar to you. Yes, materials used for gardening. For example, shovel, boot, water can, or watering can, gardening fork, gloves, pot. Alright, so that's the end of our topic. Now, the activity. Draw and color. Okay, so what does it mean? Draw and color. Alright, write your name, section, and number. Now, the first one, shovel. Okay, draw and color. You draw the shovel. Materials. Right? Okay, using your notebook or any piece of paper. Number 2, boot. Draw and color. Okay, draw the boots in your paper. That's number 2. And then color. Number 3, gloves. Okay, draw the gloves and color. Did you get it? Very good. So follow the watering can, gardening fork, and the last one, the pots. Alright? Okay. And that's it for today. Thank you, class. Bye-bye.